VideoEdge, powered by Victor, is
reliable.
VideoEdge powered by Victor is
Security. VideoEdge powered by Victor is
exciting.
VideoEdge with Victor is
the platform of the future on video.
VideoEdge powered by Victor. Super!
Powered by Victor is the perfect fit.
VideoEdge powered by Victor is our future. It's the core to a unified solution.
VideoEdge and Victor 4.2. We're all in. How about you?
Hello everyone. You've just seen some of our employees who helped to develop these products and are very excited about them. I'd like to welcome all of you to our launch presentation of VideoEdge and Victor 4.2. We are also very excited to tell you about why VideoEdge with Victor is the most powerful NVMS in the industry. I will now turn the presentation over to Shahar Zeevi, Senior Product Manager for VideoEdge and Victor. Shahar?
Thank you, Pam. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our launch webinar for a new version of Victor and VideoEdge. Very exciting time at American Dynamics with this release. Also, the first half of the webinar will be very informative. The second half of the webinar will be more specific. So again, if you need to drop off about halfway in, at least you got the high level of what's new in Victor VideoEdge version 4.2. So let's just start our presentation. So we looked at our Victor VideoEdge 4.2 from a design standpoint. And Victor VideoEdge 4.2 is designed for the IT. We're using advanced new Linux OS. It's not really an OS. We use a kernel 2.6 in version 4.1, and we're now running kernel 3.6 in 4.2. We also moved to a SUSE distribution of that kernel instead of just a generic distribution. The move into the SUSE distribution provides us with many features, including all the drivers to work on different hardware servers, if it's a Intel, AMD, if it's a Dell, HP, IBM, whatever the server hardware is, all those are now provided by SUSE. Our engineers are not required to develop drivers to NIC cards and working with motherboards. All this is basically provided to us by SUSE as they're distributing this kernel 3.6. So the way we use, same as with 4.1, we continue it with 4.2. The NVR is still an appliance. As we're installing this Linux as an appliance, not as a full OS, you get a much more secure recorder. All the components that usually install with an OS, that the malicious attack, viruses, and any kind of a hacking attack is looking for to use to get into the systems are basically not installed. We only install just enough OS to make our product work. What that means to you, it's a lower total cost of ownership. There's no ongoing support of an OS here. There's no patches that need to be added every, the first Tuesday of every month. Ease of installation. It takes 8 minutes to install the software. When you get the software from us, you get the OS and the VideoEdge bundled into one install. You do not have to provide the OS. It's actually installed, part of the VideoEdge installation. And the whole installation takes less than 15 minutes. Out of the 15 minutes, 8 minutes is actually installing the software, and that's how little software we actually have to put there to make it work. So again, a very secure, high-performing appliance here. So we also designed the product for the ease of use and speed. So we talk all the time about our metadata. So what is metadata? Metadata is basically data on data. It's the information about the data that we have in the system. And this is basically similar to Google. When you search the web, Google doesn't really go to all this website to look for information. All this information is already stored at the Google database. So when you say, I want to see a store, I want to look for a product, Google did all these searches in the past. They're continuously doing these searches all the time. And when you search the database, you search through the text information, the data about the data, which is much quicker, much faster to do searches. So we do the same thing. we provide in the NVR, in the VideoEdge NVR, we collect data on the video. So every time there's a video coming into the NVR, we're creating a database that describes the video in a text form. So we're creating these flat files that provide information about the video, searching these files in seconds. So if you want to see video for the past 14 days, we just look for the text. It was any motion in that door for that direction. It takes seconds to search for it, and we provide you all the events. Again, that's the ease of use. When you look for the video, you get it quickly. You don't have to wait for the system to provide you the information, and it's quick and fast. Also, this metadata is the foundation for the whole analytics. If you have information about the information, basically, we can now put rules on those. Did someone went right, went left, and all those. So key takeaways from 4.2. There's a lot of new things and exciting things about 4.2, but if we put it into just a quick, the few things, if you remember, there's going to be a very informative PowerPoint presentation, a very informative webinar. But if I have to ask you to remember the 4 things that in the VideoEdge, Victor VideoEdge, it will be the new embedded video analytics. VideoEdge now provides video analytics. It's based on our own homegrown technology. It's a company that we bought 4.5 years ago called Intellivid. This is our analytics that now included in VideoEdge. So when you go out in the market and you sell our video analytics, you will not compete against the same video analytics. You will compete with systems that provide the same functionality, but not our analytics. Again, this is our stuff with a great group of engineers. There's actually too many PhDs in that group providing great products. Dynamic bandwidth management, also a new feature in 4.2, provide bandwidth throttling and transcoding of video from one format to another. VideoEdge for version 4.2 is now available as a software only. Again, one of the reasons we moved to the SUSE distribution is to be able to work on many hardware platforms. So providing, now we're capable of providing it as a software only. Victor was also always available as software only. Now we're also providing the VideoEdge as a software only. And we redesigned our administrator client, the web client to the VideoEdge. We work with an external company that their core competency is in a man-machine interface. They interviewed our customers, they interview key integrators, they interview our customer support, they played with the product, they spoke with the engineers, and they came up with different ways we can present data, information, different way we can interface with the product. The product is much more intuitive. As I mentioned before, it takes 15 minutes to install the product. I install the product now on about a weekly basis as we're just releasing the product. So once a week I get a new build as it's getting closer, and with all the add-ons that we go through the beta sites. Installing the product once a week, it takes me 15 minutes from the moment I put the USB key in a machine that there's nothing running on it, no OS, nothing, to the moment that I have 16 discovered cameras and recording. It takes me about 15 to 20 minutes. So again, very exciting time. Product is progressing. So let's talk specifically about the video analytics available now in version 4.2. As I mentioned before, it's based on our Intellivid software. We're providing 6 rules. We provide tripwire, object detection, direction, linger, enter, exit, and the object abandoned and removed. So one of the things about object removed, we also provide an extra rules that you can set or extra parameters you can set with the removed, which basically you can say how much is removed out of the area selected, so you can set it by percentage. So as we look here, let's say the picture on the screen, we see on the bottom right there's an area with a yellow square covering 2 cars. You will have the option to basically say what is the percentage of object removed. So if I take one car out of there, it's less than 50%. So I can say only 50% if the object in that yellow square are removed, that's an alarm. In addition, you can set it by time, how long it took to remove that 50%. If that 50% is removed in less than 2 minutes, I want to see an alarm. If it was removed more than that, that's an okay performance. So that can be applied to a shelf sweep in a retail store. If you have a component, let's say in a pharmacy, it's a drug that can be used to create recreational drugs, and then you can say if my shelf has been removed too quickly, that's not normal for the store, cause an alarm, someone is stealing it or someone is taking it to do something that it's not supposed to. In addition, when we license video analytics in the VideoEdge, we license it to the box. It's not licensed per camera, it's licensed to the box. So whatever licenses you purchase, let's say you have a 64 camera recorders, but you only need 10 cameras with analytics, you bought 10 licenses. You can apply these licenses to any 10 cameras that you want. If you want to move it from one camera to another, just remove it from one, and then you're going to see that you have one available in the system. You can just attach it to another. There's no need to get new license from us. There's no need to do any work with us. You just do it on site. One quick addition to the analytics is when you buy the license, you get all 6 rules. There's no need to buy each rule separately. When you enable a license, it comes with all the 6 rules in it. So let's talk more about the dynamic bandwidth management now available in 4.2. Basically, this is an NVR 2-client bandwidth throttling. If you come through a narrow bandwidth, you are connecting to a remote site, a satellite location, you traveling and you're coming from an hotel, you have a slow DSL line. And what we do is we throttle the video between the VideoEdge and the Victor client, and also to the new mobile client that we have running on iOS's. We take the video and we manipulate the video. So also we have the ability to transcode the video. Transcode the video is basically taking a video from one format and changing it to a different format. So cameras that are MJPEG or MPEG-4 will now be transcoded to H.264. Combining the throttling and the transcoding together, basically what you get is the ability to take video, 5 megapixel video, 3 megapixel video, even a D1 resolution video, and pushing it over 256K, 512K, whatever is the bandwidth available to you. The combination of the two with the algorithm that was developed will always provide you with the best quality of video. In addition, when you're coming from remote sites, or even if you're coming from Victor, many times you're viewing the video in just a little video pane. Not always it's a full screen. So there's no reason to send a 5 megapixel video from the recorder to the client if all the client is going to do is going to view it in a small screen. If it's like your iPhone, even if it's your tablet and it's a smaller screen, you're viewing more than one video. We will throttle the video and we'll provide you with the right info. It's a great feature to use. In addition, dynamic bandwidth management provides you with bandwidth capping. So if you put this product, you put the NVR in a retail store, you put it in a pharmacy, many times this product will share the bandwidth with other systems. If it's a credit card transaction, if it's a medical insurance transactions, other products use the bandwidth. So you can cap the VideoEdge and say, even if there's a lot of bandwidth available to that store, I still want that VideoEdge to be capped with it, 1 meg, 2 megs, whatever you want to cap the VideoEdge, so you still have bandwidth available to other products to communicate. VideoEdge is now available as a software only. So what we get with the software only, operating system is not required. As I mentioned before, it's installed with the VMS. When you install VideoEdge, we install just enough OS to make that VideoEdge work. We're converting that hardware with the minimum requirement that is available. It's information available on our website, information available on the datasheet for the software only, what is the minimum hardware requirement. But we take this hardware and we convert it to a secure appliance. Moving to the SUSE distribution, if you go to the SUSE website, and there's a link here on the presentation, or even if you look at your hardware datasheet, if you take your manufacturer datasheet for your server, under supported OSs, you will see a list of supported OSs. Many servers today have at least 5, 6, 7 of those listed there. Different Windows, different Linuxes. SUSE is the largest distribution as Linux for the enterprise world. So if you see SUSE or slash, and slash can be, basically it's a SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, so it will be listed as slash, or it will be listed as SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. We're using version 11, not all the time it's mentioned by version, but if you look at your hardware and it is certified to work with the SUSE Linux Enterprise Server slash, and it is under a minimum requirement, then your hardware will work. It's designed to work. We now, with the move to SUSE, we also provide the addition of multipath communication to storage systems, so advanced storage and high-performing storage. If we look at our VideoEdge software compared to other VMSs out there, so operating system is not required when you install VideoEdge. Even if you provide the server with operating system on it, we will override it. The competition work on Windows 7 or Windows Server, and there's some costs associated with this Windows. Many times you have to buy a server with that Windows on. You have to work and do all the Windows update and continue to maintain those with the cost associated with that. We're installing the VideoEdge as an appliance. When you use a Windows Server, Windows 7 machines, it is a Windows machine first, and then it runs an application on it that is the VMS, and you have to maintain both. So we have an affordable minimum hardware requirement compared to many other VMSs in the market, and the reason for that is that we do not have to provide a high-performing server to run the OS first so we can run our VMS. We install just enough OS there, which still the hardware is running the VideoEdge software, not the OS. It's a higher performing server with a lower minimum requirement for the hardware. There's also, we installed the OS and just the OS we need, so we install it the way we need it to work. So there's not too many settings that you have to go to the OS and do any settings. And the few settings that need to be done, like network setting and some storage settings, all those available through the NVR interface. So you don't have to be a Linux administrator to know how to set up the recorder. It's very simple, very intuitive. Compared to Windows, there is a lot of Windows knowledge that the technician need to have when setting up the recorders when it comes to network settings and storage settings and a lot of settings just to make the Windows run before you even go and install a VMS. Our software is rated at 600 megabits per second. That's basically 300 megabits write to disk and 300 megabits playback to client. It's a symmetric recorder. No other recorder in the market is a symmetric recorder that can give you the same bandwidth in and the same bandwidth out. Throughput is a significantly varies out there between 50 megabits to some claims 300 megabits, but they can do the 300 megabits with very few playback out. So if you need a symmetric recorder, VideoEdge is a very high performing. And one of the reasons, again, is the ability to run it as an appliance, provide all the resources for video and not to run other components that we don't really need. What it translates to, we can put 64 2-megapixel cameras like the Illustra 610 with setting up at max frame rate, max resolution on a single server. Very few recorders, if any, can match putting so many megapixel cameras on a single recorder. Dynamic bandwidth management is available on every recorder if it's a bundle server or software only, so you get the dynamic bandwidth management with it. And video analytics is included in each of the VideoEdge software or bundled, and you can license it on all versions. Very limited availability with other products in the industry. This is a quick view of the new look and feel of the VideoEdge web client. When you connect to the VideoEdge, you see the screen on the bottom. So you don't, if you know VideoEdge and you worked with 4.1 or 4.0 in the past, when you got to the page and you needed to provide user ID and password just to view the video, because the first screen you saw is video, the first screen we're coming into is the camera list with all the information. That view, basically, as you can see here, provide you all the information you need about the camera. Camera IP address, camera name. Under the recording, you will know just by the icon if it's a green, red, yellow, or orange. If you remember from 4.1, if the camera is total recording, not recording, recording on alarm, recording on motion. You see how many streams are set up per camera. Stream 1, stream 2. One is H.264, one is MJPEG. Also with the dots, you can see which stream is used for live, alarm, recording, and analytics settings. A very quick access to edit the camera with the quick settings, or go to the camera setup. In addition, you can see on the left side, basically like your web email, you can select multiple cameras and do settings on multiple cameras at the same time. So let's go to our bundle and see what's the value about our bundle system. So we know it's available as a software only, but we also sell our bundle servers, and there's a value in buying the bundle from us. So at least we believe there's a value there. We're running it on a purpose-built appliance. The software that we install in our manufacturing is installed on a purpose-built appliance. So we have a guarantee from the manufacturer of that hardware that we're always going to get the same hardware. It's always going to be the same motherboard, always the same CPU, always the same memory, always the same NIC card, always the same everything in that server. So that's the server that got qualified, tested in our QA lab. So we can guarantee, and we know that we can guarantee that you're always going to get 800 megabits on that server, which is 400 in, 400 out. 400 megabits of throughput for the video recording, that's a lot. We know that with the 300 we can do 64, we can do even more here. 400 megabits for playback. So again, this is still a symmetric recorder. As much information that you write into disk, clients can request that video, play that video. So when event occur and a lot of people want to see the video, VideoEdge will provide you with that video. And all of this, again, while collecting metadata. So if you want to do the motion search, you want to do the smart search, you want to see video analytics, it's all available in the recorder. So the product is also designed for continuing growth. So the new servers come with up to 36 terabyte of internal storage. When we say up to, it's because it's what you want. There's many SKUs. There are actually 6 SKUs in the product that you can buy it with different sizes of storage. It's all internal. Server is still 2U height and come with up to 36 terabyte of storage in it. All storage configuration are based on 3 terabyte hard drive. So that's a key. That's the continuous growth here. You can buy more 3 terabyte hard drives, and you can bring your system to a full 36 terabyte. So regardless of how much storage you started with, you can always get to the 36 because we based all configuration on 3 terabyte. Basically, we have 12 hard drives on the front of the unit. They're all front accessible, all hot swappable, 3 terabyte storage drives, which you can get different configuration of storage up to 36 terabyte. It's also 2 hard drives in the back of the unit. They're like back accessible, so like front accessible from the back. They're running the OS, and they're set up in a RAID 1 mirroring. We have a higher processor in that server. We can do more. That's where the analytics and all the transcoding is coming into play with version 4.2. We have no single point of failure. So as I mentioned, the OS is mirrored on 2 drives. The storage is RAID 5 on 12 drives, up to 12 drives. If you have less than 3, we cannot provide it as RAID, but all products with more than 3 drives come RAID 5 configured out of the factory, saving you a lot of time and effort to do it on site. In addition, the product comes with redundant power supply. So again, it's a high availability server with redundant power supply, redundant recording, and mirrored OS. If we look at the external storage, let's provide us the growth with the flexible RAID configuration. So if 36 terabyte is not enough, we can grow with external shelves and we can grow to virtually unlimited storage. If you knew VideoEdge in the past, again, we had limitation of just over 100 terabytes per server. Moving to the SUSE distribution of Linux, it's opened us to virtually unlimited storage. Is whatever is requirement, the SUSE will support it. External RAID storage are also high availability. They have redundant controller, they have redundant power supplies, and the RAID 5 configured and flexible in sizing. So what all this means to you, from a buyer perspective, we eliminate the cost and burden of managing a Windows-based system. We eliminate the cost and the complexity of managing this Windows server. And we eliminate the cost and time in maintaining all those and configuring the NVR. As I said, very quick, very intuitive, NVR to use, very quick to set up. So that's high value proposition and superior ROI. If we look at it from a decision making, it's a streamlined operation process across our product using our Victor client, a Victor unified client. And the same client can work with VideoEdge, can work with HDVR, can work with Intellex. So if you have an existing American Dynamics recorder on your site, there's no need to rip and replace. Any other software out there will require to remove any other products, and they don't support, sometimes they don't support their own old recorders, because as you move on with new systems, you just don't support that many years back. We support Intellexes that are 10 years old. So Victor is a high power client. It basically improves the operation and efficiency of your facility. Spend the budget you have on expansion, not on replacing what you already have. From an operator perspective, we improves the availability of live and recorded video. Both the Intellex from version 4.3 and VideoEdge is based on video streaming and not clip downloads. So you stream video directly from the NVR or the DVR. Intuitive interface and flexible administration levels from Victor, and basically providing a good product, easy to use product to the operator. So if we dip again a little deeper, this is the new NVR, the new server, the bundle server that is available. You can see in the front there are 12 hard drives. There are 4 rows of 3. All of them are set at 3 terabyte. It's based on a Dell 720, but this is not the server you can buy from Dell.com. This is a purpose-built appliance that we have from Dell OEM Group, and we have a guarantee from them that the components in these servers will always going to be the same components, and that's how we can guarantee the performance of the server. We have up to 36 terabyte in the front, up to 2 drives on the back. All our drives are also SAS drives, nearline SAS drives, which are higher performing enterprise compared to the regular SATA drives you get with regular servers. We have mirrored OS, 800 megabits on this server, which is 400 write to disk, 400 to client, and the redundant power supply. If we look at the industry leading performance here, we cannot tell you the names of other companies. Our legal department did not approve us to put names there. You can guess basically what they are, but you can see that from the write to disk performance, VideoEdge is leading the market. We also have our desktop. It's the same desktop that was available in 4.1, is upgradable to 4.2 and also available to buy as a new 4.2. All desktop recorders comes with one Victor client license bundled with them. So when you buy the desktop, you get the first Victor license to run it. We have multiple storage options, from no internal storage if you just want to work with external storage, up to 3.5 terabytes internally. And it is rated at 100 megabits per second, basically 50 write to disk. I wouldn't say it's an industry-leading performance. I think there's a few other NVRs that are close to the 50 megabits write to disk. They're not listed here. But again, compared to the average NVR out there, it is a leading performance. It's just, I don't think we alone there at that number. So let's talk more about the Victor Unified interface, the Victor Unified client that make all this work. We basically took our NVR and named it VideoEdge and we took our client and named it Victor. Any other VMS out there, it's basically the same name for the client and the server. You don't really know. You just talk about the product, the solution. We named the NVR VideoEdge and the client Victor because Victor is more than just the VideoEdge client. It's also the Intellex client. It's also the HDVR client, and also the Secure 9000 alarm client. So it's a pure unified solution. So Victor is in the engine that power the solution. Recorders are communicating with the Victor Site Manager. Victor clients communicate with the Victor Site Manager. We can have remote Victor client as agents, basically running a video wall. Victor Site Manager provides us with Active Directory access. That's a feature that is standard with every system, bundled or software only. There is no charge to work with an Active Directory. It's a centralized permission. It's based on an SQL database. If you unifying it with the Secure 9000, it's a single instance of SQL. You don't have to install one for 9000 and one for Victor. It is one SQL. It's a true unified solution running on a single instance of database. If you're just installing the Site Manager as a regular installation, you don't have a unification with Secure. Part of the installation, you can install the MS SQL Express that comes built into Victor. Just next, and it's installed and running. Backup is available. Between the Victor and the recorders, there are many different email alarm notifications and reporting generations that can be enabled and set up in the system. So let's talk specifically more about the Victor Site Manager. We're mentioning that Site Manager. So Site Manager is that one central database where we store all the information. That's where we put all the rules of who is on the network, what you do, what permission you have, what can you access, what can you, and all the permissions that you have. It's basically a central event information. It keeps all the journals. This is where you can look into audit trail, who did what. If something happened, I want to see who did it and why. If you see video happen, appeared on YouTube, you can see who exported the video, or even if they took the video with their camera phone and they just recorded what's on the screen, you can tell who played back that video at that specific time. So again, you can start seeing what has been done with the system. Victor 4.2 provides the ability to switch between site managers. Very important feature. In 4.1, you can connect to one site manager at a time, and it wasn't easy to switch between site managers. And 4.2 make it very easy to access multiple facilities. So if you have multiple facilities and they're all sitting on independent site managers, not as a one single system, just by clicking on the site manager buttons, you can switch between them. Another exciting feature in 4.2 is the object association. We can take any component in the system and associate, or any object in the system, and associate 5 additional objects with it. And they don't have to be from the same system. So we can mix cameras and intrusion and detection and fire and access control. All these components, if they're in the system and work as a one integrated or unified solution, they're all available as a component there. So if alarm recorded one, you can create action on the others. But more important, when you search, you come Monday morning or you get a call that something happened, you search the database and you find a specific event, a door open, a window, a glass broken, a motion detection, a camera alert, whatever the alert was, you find that event in the database. Someone complained and you find the event in the database. Now you want to see what actually happened. Just by right-click on that event and asking to see all the associated objects, it's an option on the pull-down menu, immediately you will see all the information from the associated objects. That's half of your report already being done. Video is being played back of exactly what happened at the same time, building that reporting, building that event review process for you automatically. Mapping is available in Victor 4.2. This is just an import of our office through an AutoCAD. which is a feature available in Victor. You can just upload an AutoCAD mapping, any drawing from AutoCAD, and you can actually select the layers that you want to see directly from that import tool. You can place any object on the map. If these objects are cameras, you can actually set up each camera. If you want to hover over the camera, that video is going to pop up directly on the map. You don't have to push it to a video tile. So we continue to enhance our search tools that are available in Victor. So it is an easy to use, a wizard-based. You can select if you want to search by time search or video search. If you select it by time, you can select number of cameras. You can be a mixed cameras from an Intellex, HDVR, and VideoEdge. And basically, you want to see all events that happen at that time frame. A smart search for the video also provides you with the ability to set up the object size, the object direction, so some information about the video. This is basically a video motion detection on already recorded video. This is the key of the metadata. This is where we search the metadata and provide you with information very quickly. We're also provided in this investigator mode. The investigator mode is that view that you see on the bottom right. When you launch an event as an investigator mode, that video is going to appear on the larger pane. You can bring any other cameras to the smaller pane, and they will be immediately synced to the date and time of the main video. So if you see event happening, you can also see what happened in other cameras. If the object moved from one to another, or if something happened inside, you can see if someone was waiting for that person outside, or if it started somewhere else. So you can track playing forward and backward between all these cameras. You can replace cameras if that person or object moved between cameras and it's more than the cameras available. You can start replacing these cameras on that view. New functionality added in 4.2 is refining the motion search, and when you get the result, we also put that red square to tell you where exactly that object that triggered the camera. Many times you see an event and you don't really know why do you see that event. You do not see the motion. Seeing the red square sometimes make it easier. For me, I play a lot with cameras in my office, and I had many events that I did not know why they showed up. When that feature is now available in 4.2, I can see that basically there's a reflection on the window of my door. So there's a glass on my door, and when there's a reflection of that window, it triggers my system, and that's basically why I'm getting this event. So again, very helpful to find what triggered the system. Also help you to refine your settings so you don't get all these false alarms. Very exciting add-on to 4.2 is the time filter. So when you search for video Monday to Friday, it will give you all the video from Monday to Friday. Now there's a time filter. I only want to see the video that is between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. So I'm coming Monday morning. I want to see what happened last week every day between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. It's people coming into the office, or something happened overnight. I don't really know what's going on, but something happened overnight. I don't know if it's a cleaner crew or whatever. You can set up, I want to see what happened between 6 p.m. when I go home to 8 a.m. when I come back. So it's filtering the time, give you only the result to the time that you're actually looking for. Now, we talk about video analytics. And video analytics need to be set correctly first to work, but also, again, we have to understand the application that it can really work. But when we set up video analytics, it's basically we're trying to put the rule together, and basically if we're talking on the phone or talking on the radio, asking a person to go through that camera to see if our rule works. And we're trying to work it in many ways, but not always very optimized to the way we actually want to use it. So a key feature is that you can enable the analytics just to collect all the analytics information without creating rules. So you say, I want this camera, the front door cameras, to have analytics on it with no rules actually running. Rules mean that I take information and create an alert and an event of it, but I can just collect data. So now let the system run for a few days, a week. You come from Victor and you search the system. So you look at the lobby and you start your searches. You create a zone around the door and you want to see if people going in or going out, or creating a line to see who break the line. Whatever rules you choose to use, you can actually use Victor to search in the past. and you can refine your settings. Every time you get results, if the result's not what you're looking for, it's easy to refine the search to find the result, which are based on real time, what really happened in your facility, morning, evening, night, whatever. When you set up a rule that the results are exactly what you're looking for, close enough to what you're looking for, just by click on a button in Victor, you take all these settings that you just did and you push them into the NVR, the VideoEdge NVR, and the VideoEdge NVR will now start recording on that rule or create an alert on that rule. So you don't have to take it and rebuild it in NVR. Just by a push of a button, you give it a name, and now it's pushed into the NVR and start working as a rule. A very powerful, easy to use feature. Also, when we set up user in the system, with all the options that we have between what cameras you can see or cannot see, what features you can use or cannot use, and all these mix of operations that can be done in the system, it can take a long time to set up a user. And when you have a new employee coming and you have to create a new user for that employee, it can take, again, a very long time. Now available, basically, you can take a user that is already in the system, right-click on the user, and save their settings, save as. You take their settings, what they can do, and you save it as a new role. So the new employees that are coming in, you just point them to that role, and they can do exactly what, let's say, called the junior officer, what that junior officer can do. Cutting, again, your setting times from longer to very short of just creating a user and pointing it to a role. In the playback, we add now 8x and 16x fast forward and rewind. So 1, 2, and 4 available that were available in 4.1. Now we have 8 and 16 available in 4.2. So you have a greater flexibility of playback. In addition, we added, you can see on the image provided on the bottom left, we created the ability to jump to specific events in a timeline. Again, remember, this is video streaming. There's no download here. We can just jump from one time to another with no need to download the buffer any video. And we can skip between events. We have Video Vault, part of Victor 4.2. Video Vault basically provides you the ability to select any number of recorders, any number of cameras, in any time frame that you need, and immediately lock that video. So video will not going to be overwritten as it comes to the time that, you know, all the video has been override in the database, in the recorder. So if you save video for 14 days, all the video that is 14 days old start to be overwritten with the new day. You can lock videos in the NVR to protect those. One of the interesting use for that, we have a university client that's using VideoEdge. They're recording cameras for 14 days and 30 days, depends on the location. That's actually another feature that's available in VideoEdge. You can set up the time that you want to retain video by camera, so it's not by recorder. You can set for every camera how long you want to save the video. So some cameras can be 7 days, some cameras can be 14 days, some cameras can be 30 days. You can actually set it up your camera. But what the Video Vault came as a great feature for that customer is that on a game day, they want to save the video of game day for 1 year. So when they come Monday morning to the office, they take all the video from Saturday. It's actually all video from Friday night where all the activities start to Sunday morning where all the activity kind of like ends, and they take all the cameras that covering the stadium and the surrounding area, and they're vaulting those for 1 year. So that feature basically provides them the ability to just take selected cameras and vault the video for longer period of time, because game days they would like to save for 1 year. Still, we had it in 4.1, also available in 4.2. We have our event priority window. So you can set up events to go to that window, and depends on the priority of the events, they're going to pop up. Highest priority in the top left, pane number 1, 2, 3, 4. As the priority come, they will populate. We have customers basically call this the black screen. Director of security like to go to the security room and just poppies that in. If that screen is black, he knows everything is good. Shouldn't be any video on that from that perspective. We have an airport client that basically said that if I see 3 videos on that screen, basically this is where we're getting very close to shut down the airport. There was no video should be on that screen. Just a feature. Health monitoring. There's a lot of health monitoring in Victor and VideoEdge. They're not easy to find. That's the problem. But a lot of information is available. If it's just from the light bulb with recorders and cameras, information about a camera offline, online, if it's about storage. There's a lot of information between Victor and VideoEdge. It's just not easy to find. We're trying to make the manual more easy to read about where to look for those. I can tell you that in 4.3, we're creating a new dashboard. All of these are going to be appeared under one dashboard and make it much easier to look at the health of the system. But again, a lot of information is available. You just have to go to many places to see different information. We are working on a dashboard that will consolidate all those to a single view. In the video overlay, as we mentioned, Victor is available as an agent. You can run a video wall by it. Many times it's large monitors and far away on the wall, and it's hard to read the overlay text. So we provided now the ability to change the text size and the text color. And there are two options, one for the camera name and the other is for the date and time. So each of those have independent settings for size and color. In VideoEdge 4.2, we added the support for Bosch and Samsung cameras. You can go to our website and go to the VideoEdge page under supported devices, and you will see the list of supported devices. If you didn't get the communication, we also have FLIR. FLIR was introduced in 4.1 and also available in 4.2. But the new drivers that introduced, let's say, in the past few months is FLIR, Bosch, and Samsung, adding to the list of supported devices. A little more deeper information on the VideoEdge, the new platform. As I mentioned, they're all based on 3 terabyte drives, basically platform of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 hard drives in them. You can always upgrade and add more storage to the existing system. There's so many things to talk about Victor and VideoEdge 4.2, so much information in there. So we continue to enhance our failover. It's many-to-one failover. You can use it as one-to-one, but it's a many-to-one failover. We have our bundled servers, and we know the value of getting a server. That's a single 800 number. You call one support, and you get the full support for your hardware and software. There's no finger pointing here. You know, software look good, you have to check with your hardware manufacturer. It's the performance that you get from the servers. It's the fact that the servers come pre-installed, pre-configured. We know with 4.2 you can get up to 36 terabytes of storage in these servers. All our servers come RAID 5 configured out of the factory. To set up a 36 terabyte as RAID 5 can take up to 2 days just to build up the RAID, where you just let the system run. So this is time and value that you get by buying a bundled server. Our camera handlers are field upgradable. Basically, every time we have a new camera handler, it's available for download from our website. You don't have to wait for a new version of the software to upgrade to new cameras. We have audio recording in VideoEdge, virtually unlimited storage in the system, whatever supported by the OS. We are based on real-time video streaming. There is no clip download here. Chain of custody and all the video authentication is available in the VideoEdge. And again, it's all part of the Victor unified client. As I mentioned before, in version 4.2, we're introducing a VideoEdge app, currently only supporting iOSs for Apple devices, iPhone, iPad. It will be available to download from the App Store coming soon. I don't have any information of what soon is. I know that we submitted it to Apple, and we're in the process of Apple approving it, so it should be on the App Store very soon. We will communicate separately, letting you know that we got approved and it is available for download. It is a free download, and it's an app to communicate with the NVR directly. This is not a Victor app. This is a VideoEdge app. So talk about Victor as a unified client. Let's talk about the bigger picture. We have many video systems. We have access control. So we already know that Victor is that unified client to all our recorders. TVR is listed here as a recorder, but TVR is actually going to be supported in version 4.3, which is going to be early next year, or actually spring of next year. In version 4.2, we also added support unified with the Secure 9000 as a alarm monitoring, and we continue to add more unification into the Secure 9000 as we add more unification into the TVR with future versions. Let's talk about the difference between integrated and unified. What is the actual difference between the two? So integrated is that you have two products that using each other API or SDKs, they have to do some work to tell the other product what they do. I want to see information on the video. Can you send me video? I just get an alarm on a door open. Here's the information on a door open alarm. Many times it's done by the PSIM server, so you actually have to introduce a whole third software just to make the two you already have work together. Unified, as we said, it's a single server. It's going to be a single instance of the SQL. It's going to be a single product. It's the Victor product. That Victor product can communicate with all the video systems. That Victor product can communicate with the Secure 9000 panels. It's actually one product. So we cannot break it by, oh, I upgrade my video system so my access control doesn't work anymore. We need a new API for that one. It is a single operation. We still have our SDKs for integration with third parties that you use to do today, if it's from video or from access, but between the video system and the access control system, from a Victor perspective and a Secure perspective, they're unified, they're working as one. It's a single product to maintain. So let's talk about the key takeaway from this presentation. We talked about a lot of things here for the past hour. Embedded video analytics, now available in VideoEdge 4.2. Dynamic bandwidth management, provide you the ability to throttle video on a narrow bandwidth when you're coming from the app on your iPhone, the iPad, you're communicating to a remote site, a satellite location. You want to cap the video when you're working in a retail store, whatever, even in your office. VideoEdge is available as software only, and Victor is available as a software only. So if you have a preferred vendor for your hardware, or you already have an existing hardware, you can just buy the software only. And the new administrating client make it easy and fast, quick to use our products. And that's it for today. If you have any questions, we're going to open the lines now for questions. And thank you for your time and joining us for this presentation. There's a lot more information for you to read on americandynamics.net. And if you didn't join us at the adpm.info website, please feel free to visit adpm.info. This is an American Dynamics product management portal where you get information directly from the product management team. So again, come visit us at the adpm.info. If you're not an existing user, just click on the new user, ask for your credential. You will get access to a lot of information about basically the complete line of products from American Dynamics, if it's the Elastra cameras, if it's the analog recorders, if it's the monitors, everything of American Dynamics. This is a direct communication from the product management group. More information available on Facebook, Twitter, the regular channels of communication. Our marketing team always updating those sites. There are always new videos on how-tos and informative on the YouTube channel. And thank you for your time.